Behind everything I say this morning is the deep knowledge and desire that incinerators are an attack upon our health. But the story which is playing out here began nearly a decade ago when concerned local residents realised the county council was working to procure a waste plant. We have to get rid of our rubbish somewhere. By the time Candida Brady and I released the documentary Trashed in 2012, it had become clear that this plant was intended to be a huge incinerator. Incineration is a technology beloved by banks and other corporate investors because they love huge projects, in the same way that estate agents love selling big houses. It's beloved of many councils because they see it as established, and councils are terrified of taking what they perceive as procurement risks. But as we clearly showed in Trashed, there are far greater risks at play with this incineration technology. Toxic risks to livestock and land, to the livelihoods of farmers and growers, to our health and the health of our children and our children's children. Although these concepts have been dismissed as not material planning consideration, this has always been the biggest concern of residents. And with recently emerging reports linking air pollution and mortality rates, why shouldn't it be? 20,000 children attend schools within 5 miles of where this vast beast was intended to squat like some monster gatekeeper on the area of outstanding natural beauty that is the Cotswolds. Residents and some councillors too became campaigners in a stormy struggle that is still going on and yet to be won. There was elation at the planning refusal in 2013 and despair 2 years later when the central government overturned it. Petitions were signed by thousands and councillors proposed terminating the contract. But the toxic project steamed ahead among fears of huge cancellation costs. At this time, any opposition was hampered by commercial confidentiality, a phrase continually used to justify withholding key information about the deal, both from the public and from most of the council. As you can imagine, it's extremely difficult to argue against a business case and a contract that you aren't allowed to see. When I came to Stroud in 2015, 2 strands of the story were emerging. A freedom of information case was being pursued by a handful of dedicated campaigners determined to find out exactly what taxpayers' money had been committed to. And secondly, an enterprising group of local experts, from recycling engineers to waste industry specialists and business strategists, were about to come together to offer a viable alternative solution. This was R4C, Community R4C, a people-powered initiative to promote a circular economy and treat black bag waste as a resource. They proposed a plan for a lean, flexible recycling plant, R4C, which could rival the incineration at a fraction of the cost, a plan I was delighted to support. Now today, these 2 strands have come together. The Freedom of Information case finally resulted in a tribunal judgment earlier this month. The ruling clearly acknowledged residents' concerns as genuine and not trivial. It concluded that in the public interest, the full contract should have been disclosed years ago. This is highly, and I mean highly, significant. I trust the political bodies across the country entering into private contracts will take careful note of this precedent and it should lead to greater openness and accountability in all sectors. Community R4C, concerned with contributing to a local circular economy and providing a greener alternative, took responsibility for analysing the long hidden figures. The resulting report is what brings us here today, and it's both startling and reassuring. Startling because it shows a potential breach of competition law, something Community R4C cares deeply about, because it could prevent the innovation and flexibility that the waste industry will inevitably need to embrace in the coming years. Startling also because it shows that Gloucestershire would actually be better off financially if it cancelled the deal, contrary to the impression given to the media and the public up to now. Reassuring because it shows by example that these old and cumbersome procurement models don't work, and that local authorities will actually be better off without them. Reassuring also because it shows that the council can still choose to do the right thing and take a healthier, greener and cheaper route without suffering financially. This story could still have a happy ending. I'd like to draw attention to a glowing thread in this narrative, and it's this: the integrity and sheer perseverance, or if you like, perseverance, of local people wanting to do the right thing by their communities and the environment has succeeded in shining a light where their elected representatives could not. I remember urging locals 2 years ago to regird their loins and embarrass people over this deeply unpopular project, and it seems today that they have done so. And I hope when the council decides to speak on the subject, it will continue to do so. They've done so with intelligence and determination, and with the imagination to provide not only a way out of this mess, but an elegant solution of their own. I'm extremely proud of all those involved. Thank you for listening.